Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. Today we're back with another viewer-submitted replay. This is Halo's Chaos taking on the High Elves. You can see we've got a bit of a Vanguard shenanigan right off the bat here, so let's get straight to the armies. Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, leading the way for the Warriors of Chaos, and his counterpart, the all-new Tyrion, across the way. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to show this off, is the two new and improved combat lords in action against each other directly here. We've got, for the Chaos Warriors, some Chaos Warriors. How about that? In the front line, mix of regular, great weapons, and halberds. Nice mixed formation there. 3 Manticores. What a mad lad. One of them has an Exalted Hero on top of it. The other two are just straight up feral Manticores. So this guy, either he's on something or he's on to something. I guess we'll find out. We've also got one Chaos Chariot here to act as disruption, and that's pretty much it. For the High Elves, we've got Storm Riders, the Regiment of Renown, Lothran Sea Guard up in Vanguard here. These guys have pretty solid melee stats, especially their defense is very, very good. Of course, they have Vanguard. They also cause fear. A bit of an interesting Regiment of Renown there. Going to be taking some pot shots and then retreating. Also got a Noble with Tyrion, both on horseback. A Star Dragon, so plenty of, not really anti-large, but armor-piercing weapon strength here. We've also got some White Lions, a Lore Master of Hoeth. Let's go ahead and have a look at his spell kit here. Looks like he's got Spirit Leech, Melkos, Mystifying Miasma, and Earthblood, as well as Lore Master's Cloak for some AoE magic resistance. Good stuff. Also got an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower with unit of Spearmen to protect. So without further ado, let's get the battle underway. And you can see the Lothran Sea Guard doing exactly what I said, just kind of coming back, popping some shots on the unshielded units, and then retreating some more. You can see doing some pretty solid damage, despite the fact that they are quote-unquote non-AP missile units. They are doing some pretty solid damage here, and you can see we're going to have an escalation of tensions here as the Chaos Chariots ride in to try and disrupt the Storm Riders here. We're going to have the Star Dragon fly over, all the Manticores are flying over, Archaon's coming in, so you know we're going to have an escalation as the Manticore comes in, hits the Noble stops the Chariot, Archaon comes all the way around the side and hits Tyrion in the face, and it's just devolving into an absolute mess here in the front line. Archaon looks like he's dropping that Flaming Sword of Ruin. The Chariot did manage to get all the way through to the Storm Riders, and this Star Dragon's taking a whole lot of damage from these Manticores. Granted, this Exalted Hero is getting pounded in the face. Bit of a swing and a miss there with that Sun Fang, but Archaon is putting a beat down on the Star Dragon here, and Tyrion hasn't really been able to make that great of contact with him so far. So yeah, I definitely would say that engagement went in the favor of Chaos, although balance power is still very even, and these Chaos Chariots not really doing all that well. And oh man, Archaon just runs in and delivers a hefty blow to Tyrion there, as Tyrion's going to go ahead and run to the side. The Noble is still a little bit caught up here. Archaon might just want to turn around and punch that Noble in the teeth, but it looks like he's going to try and get away. Unfortunately, the enraged Manticore just going straight in to fight the Star Dragon solo. It's going to be not that great of a situation. Swing and a miss there with that Fireball, unfortunately, for Archaon trying to support the other Manticore, but the Exalted Hero is going to come in, and these two together are actually doing pretty well against the Star Dragon, all things considered. The Earthblood for the Star Dragon will definitely help, but you can see all across the line, the main engagement is getting underway. Chaos Warriors doing some synchronized decapitations on these White Lions. White Lions definitely giving it back, though. This is going to be a very even trade, all things considered. This Star Dragon coming down to lay waste to this unit of Chaos Warriors. Halberds right on station, though, and the Manticore, again, delivering a very nice rear charge here. So I thought this was a meme when I first saw it, but this Manticore thing actually is kind of working here. So don't tell anyone I said that. But Archaon runs in, just delivers a hefty blow here to this Noble, right under the wing of the Star Dragon, just punching him in the back of the head. The Star Dragon itself is also done for, down to only 84 hit points. It'll be lucky to get back up in the air alive here. Looks like it is going to be able to, but very likely not going to be coming back from route from being that low. Archaon in here, just punching around some of those white lions. The Lore Master fighting in the front line as well, trying to hold back the forces of chaos here. You can see just absolute degeneration all across the battlefield as the Warriors of Chaos starting to kind of pull ahead a little bit here with the Star Dragon gone and some of these White Lions starting to get worked through. This unit of Marauders managed to work its way all the way up and around the flanks and get into the back line here and compromise this bolt thrower, so things not necessarily looking great for the High Elves at this point. You can see the Chariots running some really nice hit and run charges, plowing straight through those Storm Riders there at a beautiful angle, hitting quite a few unit models. And yeah, once again, the front line of Chaos is going to win, and as, you know, the support starts to disappear, Archaon's going to be able to pick and choose his engagements more or less where he wants. At the moment, though, stuck between the Lore Master and a hard place, as Tyrion stabs him in the back there quite nicely. Oh, man. And I think they updated the sound effects. I want to say that the sounds, especially for, like, heroes fighting, sound a little bit different, sound a little bit weightier. But, yeah, you can see Archaon moving up and around, trying to avoid direct combat with Tyrion, at least for the moment, until they get rid of all the support. Manticore is still hanging around despite everything, so definitely not necessarily a meme, at least if you bring enough of them. But at this point, the elf heroes starting to just take hits. You know, they're going to be dragged down by 1,000 cuts here of all these Chaos Warriors. And really not a lot that can challenge them at this point. There's not really a lot of AoE armor-piercing damage for the High Elves. I mean, ideally, you would probably want to just try and keep all these heroes together so they can kind of fight back-to-back and protect each other as much as possible. But Manticore comes down, the wild Manticore going to get hunted down here, but the other Manticore comes down and it's also just going to get hunted down. But that does bog these two in place momentarily so that the Chaos Warriors can get in here and get a little bit of work done. Archaon, you can see riding through, casting that Flaming Sword of Ruin. Man, what a cool shot that was. Yeah, they're going to do a little bit more weapon damage. Obviously, doesn't really provide that much more AP, but now that the heroes are starting to get separated a little bit, Archaon can kind of hunt them down piecemeal. You can see him coming through a brutal Sunfang, just ripping through those Chaos Warriors, though. Man, that was juicy. It's actually going to rout one unit off there, but the Noble also gets routed off here, and at this point, it's more or less just Tyrion and the Lore Master. A few other scattered troops trying to rally to the cause here, but it's more or less pointless at this point. Lore Master drops that Earth Blood, point blank fireball from Tyrion and Archaon, and then these two are going to go ahead and let the Duel of the Fates play as they slug it out here in the end. These Chaos Warriors, you know, Chaos doesn't really fight fair, so they're going to get in here and assist Archaon. That guy definitely paid the iron price. But you saw that Heart of Avalorn proc for Tyrion, bringing him up to his healing cap. Unfortunately, his leadership's just not going to hold up. The tattered forces of the High Elves not really able to stand up. Archaon himself could probably finish off the rest of the High Elf heroes. So, yeah. Well played. Very fun battle. Nice to see Tyrion in action against Archaon. Both of these lords, I think, are going to be much more common picks than they were in the last patch because of their combat prowess. Archaon in particular, with the Lore of Fire being pretty decent in quite a few matchups and offering some really good utility, I think you're going to see a lot more of him. Tyrion as well. Tyrion's just blindingly fast. You know, having a Lord on the ground that has, you know, 90 plus speed, it makes it so, you know, when flying units come in to try and compromise your position, you can pretty much just stick to them and continue to deal, you know, devastating armor-piercing hits. Unfortunately, in this particular battle, it wasn't quite enough. The Star Dragon getting, you know, teamed up on by Manticores definitely is the highlight for me. Archaon definitely providing some good hits in there as well, but that initial kind of escalation where all those heroes and monsters kind of converged ended up costing the Star Dragon pretty severely, and ultimately, you know, the Star Dragon didn't really get to use any of its breaths, didn't really help support the frontline engagement against the Chaos Infantry, which is really what ended up costing, I think, the High Elves. Infantry kind of just got ran over by the Chaos Infantry, and, you know, the heroes and the monsters were hunted down by the Chaos heroes and monsters, so Chariots did a great job of disrupting the Storm Riders, just in general, keeping the High Elves formation disrupted. The Marauders that got around and finished off that Bolt Thrower definitely did a great job as well. So yeah, super fun battle. In terms of how this matchup has changed, again, I do think you're going to see these two lords, Tyrion especially, is probably going to be pretty solid in this matchup. I still think that for the Warriors of Chaos, Big Bird or Yeah, Archaon actually, there's a lot of benefit. The issue I see is that Dragon Princes have fire resistance. They're one of the few units, in fact, in the game that have fire resistance. So Lore of Fire, at least bringing Flaming Sword of Ruin might not necessarily be the best in this particular matchup. But you know, there's an argument to be made for Kolek, an argument to be made for Big Bird, but I definitely think you're going to see Archaon more in this matchup. In terms of what spell loadout I would bring in this situation, if we go ahead and go to the custom battle screen here, Archaon, spells against the High Elves, I would definitely recommend taking Kindle Flame. Well, actually, you know, you could probably cut Kindle Flame if you're not going to be bringing Flaming Sword of Ruin. I would definitely recommend Cascading Fire Cloak for self-buffing Archaon. Gives him extra armor piercing damage and stuff when you have the Slayer of Kings active. Piercing Bolts of Burning, it's tempting. You know, this could really set fire and really do some excellent armor piercing damage against a high value unit. But in particular, you know, Fireball might be a nice idea. Cascading Fire Cloak, though, is really going to be the important one for self-buffing Archaon, giving himself more melee defense and armor piercing damage. And then if you wanted to really meme it up, you could maybe bring Flamestorm, Piercing Bolts of Burning. You just, again, not going to want to cast this on Dragon Princes, but pretty much any other elite target you can tear apart with this. Burning Head might not be a bad idea, just to try and rout off some high elf units potentially, since they have better leadership. You could potentially use that burn. It could be tricky, but you know, something like this I think would be pretty solid. Or you could just go nice and cheap and just bring the 2 basic spells there. And then, yeah, kind of go from there. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.